In 1974, an eight-piece emerged from Brooklyn with a brassy, slick, soulful, funky sound. I am talking about Crown Heights Affair, and from their self-titled debut album, the track Sitting on Top of the World. Some really pretty major sevenths in here, going from like G to C with some open notes, something. Yeah, I was going like G major 7, 7. Yeah. Oh, hear that light, like kind of bendy guitar tone right there. This is you were hearing the arrangements, the string arrangements of Julius Dilligard Jr., who writes this one track. It's his sole composition on the album. Yeah. Even before I found out, I wanted you to be my girl. Make it happen to you. Make it happen one day to me. Oh, so hearing some crafty bass in there. And I think I found myself. Oh, the trade-offs between those like wah-wah tones, like, and then the brass comes in, and hear that tambourine persistently at it from the side. Oh, I love the interplay between the bass is really important. Notice that boom, 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 the notes, the really kind of like tight notes that it's playing, and then the guitar comes in just with those choice bends and. Now maybe today, maybe tomorrow, life's gonna pull you through. Yeah, I like how the guitar it alternates between really light, subtle, like wah wah. And then those bends like that. Let it happen to you. Yeah, hear that? One day to me, I found myself inside myself. Yeah. Oh, appreciate those drum breaks. Was it you or you? Sitting on top of the I'm trying to pinpoint what is like the ultimate earworm. There are like several going on at once. It's like the landing chord of the chorus, the way the singer, kind of rises over it, and then that no 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 that sax riff right there. Oh, boom 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 boom! But hear that bass. Oh, I love really layered, dense sound, as it should be. I mean, we got 8 guys here. Such a jovial overall sound. Come down to earth like sun, sunshine, yeah. Nothing to see, love, 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 love. Let it happen to you. So much detail, like going right past you, like at 1,000,000 miles per hour. It's like you take notice of like one little detail, then there's like another. Really tricky drum patterns to this. Hear all those different rolls that the drummer kept throwing in, like. Timeless sound. This could have come out in the '60s. It kind of conjures up sort of that Motown vibe, actually, I'm kind of hearing equal parts like late '60s Stax and Motown. No one
would sound great like on AM radio, yeah, at the time. Yeah, Scene on Top of the World by the Crown Heights Affair, really, let's just say inspirational, energetic, and optimistic track. Yeah, the title itself, it's like, the strings give us that feeling of, being kind of up in the clouds, looking over the world, looking over rainbows, looking over valleys, looking over bright lit cities and such. Yeah, let's hear another track from the album. The opener, Sex Trip. Now, really darting horn chart here. I hear that scratchy scratch. Dun, 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 dun. I love that diamond, that kind of like silvery wah wah. That is some like control of that tone and that effect. The way it's just kind of like fading in and out, like coming out, like I don't know, we're. I think it's time we met some of our other people on here. The drums are played by Raymond Rock, and quite the roller he is. Yeah. Let's see. In addition to 68 credits according to Discogs. So he was on pretty much all the Crown Heights Affair albums up through 19. Yeah, all of them, and as well as some interesting albums from the early '80s. A couple of like the Rocket one-off from 1982 and the Zynga album from that same year. Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting like a harpsichord interlocking with that. Yeah, this is okay. So far, like really tight rhythmic element, but this is becoming like a real showcase for guitarist William Anderson, and 253 credits according to Discogs. Good, definitely a talent that needed to be heard. On the same other albums that I mentioned, as well as records by a lot of interesting early '80s stuff. Trilarch, Enchantment. France Joly, the French-Canadian disco singer, and Unlimited Touch. Oh yeah, the the Unlimited Touch album from '81, really solid soul funk album. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a harpsichord, or it's like a synth setting. It's like a harpsichord setting on a synthesizer. I think I'm leaning toward the latter just because it has a slight kind of like fuzzy sound to it. Oh, really heavy descent right there. Yeah, I just love that trick. That. Okay, it's obvious what I'm marveling at right there, that fizzy sustained sound that just kind of rose right out of nowhere like a geyser and just proceeded to cover the piece. But equally important here, of course, is the rhythmic component. Okay, let's meet some of our other guys. Keyboards. Okay. Let's see. Bass by Muki Wilson, who a lot of these people were involved on the 1982 album Empress by Crown Heights member Gail Smith, who I don't think who joined the band a bit later. Yeah, after the band switched. This album came out on RCA Victor, and then all their subsequent albums came out on D-Light Records, the soul funk imprint of United Artists, I think. Universal Music Group. And this album is just loaded with great material, though. This first one, it wouldn't be till their second album that they really hit pay dirt. But this has, I guess, the majority of the tracks on this album, not the last one we heard, but the majority of them, including this one, were written and arranged by Britt, Britton, and Freida Nerangis, who the band give special thanks to. They say that was like their producer team, yeah, manager, songwriters, producer. Our very special thanks to two people who care, and who've guided us, and saying that the whole thing wouldn't have been possible without the two of them. Yeah. The rhythmic component is like so smooth, just kind of gliding along that boom, 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 boom. If you just like follow that bass for a minute. Oh, hear that? We've got that like the trombone going, and then the like saxes kind of like darting through it. Okay, let's see. Alto saxophone, Darryl Gibbs. Tenor saxophone, Bert Reed. Trombone, of course, the aforementioned Julius Dilligard, the writer-arranger of the last track. And trumpet, Ajax Jones Baynard. And I mentioned all these people were involved in... Yeah, Crown Heights Affair were a pretty tight band. Mostly the same personnel, I believe, up through the 1982 album. Yeah, they released... this album, then they released 5 albums on D-Light after this, between 1975 and 1982. And then, Bert Reed. Oh, Bert Reed was also in Combo called much later than that. There was a grand exit. That was a Sex Trip by Crown Heights Affair, and before that, Singing on Top of the World. I like some of the titles are just so funny on this record. Like it begins with the track Super Rod, and there's another track called Streaking. So very much kind of its time in a way. 1974 being the height of the streaking craze. I remember when 70s nostalgia first kicked off, like back in the 90s, before there was really an internet and I couldn't quite look things up. I was hearing about the streaking craze, and of course I was only like, I turned 1 in 1974, and I guess this being such a short-lived phenomenon that I just didn't hear, that it just wasn't recurrently discussed growing up. Well, and so it wasn't until like the early 2000s I actually found out what it was. They were saying it was a fad that took place like in the spring of 1974, and of course everyone probably knows what it means by now. It's running around, and taking like a run, like across the park or somewhere, maybe across the parking lot, some distance of space from like point A to point B, nude, and trying not to get caught or whatever, trying to like, I don't know, get seen but not get caught, or maybe not be seen, just to try and get away with it and say you did it. Yeah. It seems to be almost like the final play out of the free love of the 1960s. That era, kind of like the final play out of the whole hippie, wild child spirit of like 1967, 68. And you kind of think, why didn't that happen earlier? Well, I guess maybe because the hippie ethos hadn't spread into the mainstream enough for such a fad as streaking to become permissible. Yeah. Looks like I am kind of without my color wheel for this video. Anyway, yes, two great tracks from the first album by Crown Heights Affair, one of the most ruby-loaded soul funk albums of the mid-70s from stateside, I gotta say. I mean, yeah, a few, of course, like, a lot of the tracks are pretty short and kind of are just, like, over and done, and they cover a bit of ground from ballads to, like, soul funk instrumentals to, humor and romance and everything, all the good stuff. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Ground Heights Affair, see the directory of albums by American funk artists linked in the description below. For Red Hot Tracks and Purples from this album, as well as several of the ones that came out after it, like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two songs we just heard. The layers, the interplay, the instrumentation, the soloing, the licks, the breaks, which part stood out to you the most. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled Trimaximalist, signing off.